I miss about barbarism by barbarians. We find it heals victoriously. For President, frankly, massive for what he's for. He can hit hypnotic computers. You're the thunder of protection, yet you feed us lies from the tablet. To the party, have a real good time. Dancing in the desert, blowing up the sunshine. Everybody's going to the party, have a real good time. Dancing in the desert, blowing up the sunshine. Why do you always try to pull? 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 Why do you always